Hey y'all. Today I wanted to talk to you about something a little on the bizarre side. It might be a bit of a stretch, but yet at the same time, it's not. It's it's a concept that to believers is, well, even to a lot of believers, this is a tough one. But it's one of those things. As a true believer of God, and the fact that I do believe 100% that every word written in the Bible is the infallible word of God. But today, while I was on my route, the sun was just coming up, and it was passing through a cloud, and just that perfect ray of light came down on the back of a donkey, and it just made me smile because I've always read the story of about why there's a cross on the back of a donkey, and as I think back through the Bible, that a donkey in today's world is just a beast of burden. It's a stubborn ass. But in God's world, it is one of the most divine animals that ever lived. And because it goes all the way back to Genesis, the importance of a donkey. Now, if any of you have ever watched any of my Facebook Live, many years ago, while I was on vacation, I talked about Balaam. Balaam was a prophet of God, but he wasn't always a servant of God. He was a servant of himself. So here's the story. Balaam, he would prophesy whenever he would prophesy would come true, and a king of a land that was an enemy of God paid Balaam to curse his own land, and he was on his way to meet with that king to do just that, when his donkey that he was riding on ran him into a wall and hurt his leg. He started cursing the donkey, and then kept going a little ways, and the donkey did it again. And but the donkey's seeing something, and he keeps getting it back on the trail, and this time it runs him off into a field. And as he gets off that donkey, fit to be tied, he draws his sword to kill his donkey, and God loosens the tongue of the donkey, and it begins to speak. Can you imagine what it would be like to be Balaam? A prophet of God thinks he knows everything, because he has a direct link to God. And all of a sudden, his donkey starts talking. Balaam ain't Shrek. And he ain't talking about donkey. But at the same time, here's a donkey that talks. And looks at Balaam and goes, "Have I not been your loyal companion? Have I ever done you wrong?" And he's like, "No." He's like, "But now you want to kill me because, of this." And he's like, "Yes." And at that point, God removes the veil that is across all of our eyes. And removes the veil of the supernatural from Balaam. not only did he loosen the tongue of the donkey, but he allowed Balaam to now see the supernatural, the godly, to see that there was an angel with sword drawn to kill Balaam because he was not to curse God's chosen people. And God was going to kill him for it. But his donkey, a pure of heart spirit, animal, did not want to see his master slain. But the donkey was able to see this angel and knew what was going to happen and was trying to do whatever it took. But the love of this pure, this beautiful animal for his master touched God and allowed God to, make it a true, the ultimate learning experience. As like I've said many times today, that we've forgotten to teach consequences, that that stupid should hurt. And he was going to go do something stupid, and he was going to be killed for it. But the love of a great animal. That's why I am an animal lover. I love all animals. At the same time, I also understand that God gave us animals to use, whether it be for service, for companionship, or for food. And you can look at me, and I really enjoy them for food too. But so it serves, it seems reasonable to see the idea as God now has chosen a donkey to be his noble beast. That, like Princess, back to Shrek. Princess Fiona looking at a donkey and going, a noble steed. Well, that's what God says about the donkey, that he is the noble steed. Therefore, it makes perfect sense that all the prophecies would hold true, that Jesus would ride in to Bethlehem upon a donkey. A glorious, lowly beast of burden would be the chariot of God's Holy Son. I think that's just so cool. I really do. The only animal to talk to us in a language we understand. There's a reason farmers put them in their fields with their goats and stuff, is because they are protective animals. They will protect the animals in the field against coyotes. They're just amazing animals, and it saddens me to know that we've reduced them to just simply beasts of burden. That they're overlooked because of how they are so special. I can't recite the information about why there's a cross on the back, but if you Google it, it'll bless your heart. Because it comes from the sorrow of the donkey that carried Jesus in to Bethlehem to find out that he would be crucified and put to death, and that at that point the donkey would always carry the cross of Jesus. And that's why in in the markings of the fur, there is a Christian cross. They are a holy, divine animal. And, but when you look at it, the beasts of burden, the made to be lesser, doesn't that feel kind of like you and me? So much of the time nowadays that people of faith are looked upon by academics and stuff as simpletons, wanting to believe in myth and legend, instead of the fact that let me put it this way: I'm an extraordinarily intelligent man, and I can prove the existence of God through literature, through science. That it's easier to prove God exists and creationism than it is evolution and whatever. I mean, it's easier to prove God than it is to disprove it, and yet the world believes in the lie. And so there's a reason why this story is not taught a whole lot, is because the people in the pews, the ones that make up the majority of the church, don't believe the story any more than the non-believer, because they can't grasp the idea of the true divinity and the true power of God. That yes, God has the ability to make an animal speak. And it should be, the protective quality of an animal shouldn't be questioned. I've got some of the most loving, adorable dogs that wouldn't want to hurt a fly. But if you came at me and tried in a way that tried to hurt me or any of my family, they would turn into demons, and they would just tear you apart. But yet, if you come to them with love, to them with love, or to me with love, they're going to lick you to death instead of tear you apart. So, what I'm saying is, we have to truly begin to serve really becomes a matter of suspending disbelief. Disbelief in the physical realm, what you can see, feel, and touch. Those are the lies for a lot of point in time, for a lot of reasons, because they are temporary. Many of you who've watched my videos have said this life is short. It's nothing compared to an eternity. So the things of this world, the things that we can touch, feel, and hear and taste, and those are truly the lies of this life. That the truth of life is actually what happens after death. That's when truth really begins. So, guys, I don't know why other than that, seeing that donkey this morning, and blessing my heart, I had to share about the divinity of donkeys today. I know it's weird. I'm okay with weird. Even my parents think I'm a little weird. But weird's good. I hope more people accept to be weird, because to be a Christian means to be set apart. And if you are a true Christian, a true follower of Jesus, you are set apart from this world, and therefore you're weird. Be proud of being weird. Being proud to be different. Love you guys. I'll talk to you soon.